So this lesson 6 is for intermediate to upper intermediate kids that have been playing, I would say, for a year or so, and feel comfortable with basic technique on their instruments. So we're going to learn a tune called Rakes of Mallow. You can play it on your violin, starting with a G note, which is 3 on D string. Pianists start on G with thumb, with your right hand. And violists and cellists, you can do this also. It would start on your D string, G note. So this is what the tune sounds like. So violinist is 3 on D and 1 on A. Bum, boom, bum, boom, right? And these 16th notes are slurred. So let's try it. Pianists, we're going to start with a thumb on G and play 1, 3, 1, 3. And let's just try it. Ready, go. Let's just do that much. One more time. Ready, go. Okay, I'm going to play, just listen this time. Okay, so we've got 16th notes going down, right? And think about what key you're in. You're in G major, so C naturals. So let's play that much together. Ready, go. And then pianists, I would cross over a 2 to the F sharp and play 2, 4. Okay, and then we've got F sharp coming up. And we're slurring those 16ths also, string players. So we have G, F sharp. So let's play that much, starting with your G note. Ready, go. Okay, let's do that much again. Ready, go. Changes. Okay, so as we have a triad there. And then slur string players. Da 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 dum. And slur. So it's C, F sharp, and then we end with, so it's, let's play it slowly, starting with G note. So I want you to get comfortable with that tune first. And do you remember what key we're playing it in? G major. So our home bass note, our tonic, is a G note. If we started to count from there, or do, re, mi, fa, sol, or the fifth note of the key, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, what note do we have? D. So D would be our dominant note, or fifth note of the key. And that's definitely not a home bass note. That's away from home note. D. So here's tonic, here's dominant. So those two notes can be played more simply as a do, so, do. Do you remember that pattern that we've done? Do, so, do. So here's our home bass note G, and then D, and back to G. And if you've practiced those patterns from the last lesson, then you know that already, right? It's already in your hands. So we're going to practice just the do, so, do pattern a couple of times. For those of you who haven't done it before, we're going to start on G. And string players, you could use open G if you wanted to, except for violinists. You can't go lower. So you have to use your 3 on D string. And then D. And then back to G. Tonic, dominant, tonic. Right? So I want you to listen to the melody. And in your mind, I want you to hear when you might change from a home bass note, G, to your dominant, D. Just listen. If I played just my home bass tonic, some of it sounds okay, some of it sounds, and some of it does not sound good. So I want you to use your ears, and while I play the melody this time, I want you to start out on your G note and then change to your dominant D when it sounds like you should. And you may not like what you do. It might not sound right to you. That's okay. That's how you learn how to hear it. So I'm going to play from the beginning. You're going to start on your G note. Ready, go. How'd it go? Let's try it again. Ready, go. All right, did you like it better that time? So you can do this with just about any tune. You can put Suzuki Book 1 on the CD player and play the tonic and dominant notes for that key and try to harmonize to it. Most of it is just tonic dominant. You may have some subdominant 4s in there, but basically you could get through a lot of tunes if you just do tonic and dominant. All right? So now the next stage would be to transpose. So now that we have a feel for the melody and the harmony in G major, we're going to transpose it to another key. And for string players, I would go up a 5th because it's easier. Now violinists, you're going to have to shift, you know, if you feel a little funny about that. But you could go down also and try it down a 5th. And then you can start doing it in different keys that are not based on the same fingering. Pianists start in G major, C major, F major, and first do the tonic dominant. Just find where the first note of the key is. That's F. And then C would be your dominant. And then you can start your tune on F. So I'm assuming, because this is for more advanced students, you've already gotten into some scales. So you know that there's a B flat in F major. And if you don't know that, you will find that sounds really funny. So something's got to change. And that's the B has to be a B flat. So even that way you can navigate it just by ear. But harmonizing with tonic and dominant in different keys, that's what I'm after. Now, you can make this more fiddly, you string players, if you wanted to, by adding some slides to the downbeat of a note, like the very first note, sliding up to it. You can also add some turns or trills on notes that are long enough to hold it. You can't do it in the middle of an eighth note or something. You can also add some open string drones. Drones are notes that are held for a long time. You could do, if your bottom note was harmonically working for you, in G major you could do a little bit of, that would be a little hard because you start out on D string, but you know, you can work it however it is comfortable for you. Sixths are also very popular, sixths and octaves. So when you come to the end of a tune and you wanted to add an extra oomph to it, you could do the open string with G and then open G. So that would be a way of making it a little more fiddly, a little more stylistically appropriate for the piece. So that's a whole new different lesson, but that's something you can work with. So that is Rakes of Mallow. You can do that with any tune. Learn it by ear, then start experimenting with the key that's comfortable for you to play in, and then determine what is the home bass tonic note and the dominant note that we call so. And then once you know that, you can harmonize to it. Or someone else can harmonize for you while you play the melody. And that's a really good skill to have. And if you want to transpose it, if you're putting it in a set with other tunes and you need it in a different key, that is something that you will be able to do because you've gotten practice doing it. So that is the lesson on beginning harmony. Thank you.